How do you write a compelling why this school essay? How do you make it not sound like you're just reciting things off their website? In today's episode, we are going to talk all about what you can do to write a compelling why this school essay that is genuine, authentic, and helps strengthen your application. For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney Montgomery, and I'm the executive director and founder here at Barrier Breakers, where we specialize in providing high-touch admissions advising to aspiring law school students. And today we are talking about the why this school essay. And this is an essay that admittedly a lot of our students don't love. We know we have to write it if it's required. We're not sure if we should write it if it's optional. For the most part, while we have an idea of why we might want to go to a certain school, it can be hard for us to adequately convey that in an essay in a way that comes across as compelling and persuasive. And a lot of my students have been asking questions about this over the past couple of weeks, and I have been giving this analogy that I think really helps set the mindset for what you need to be thinking about with this essay. Now, if you are one of my students, you have heard this before, but if you're not, I hope that you find some joy and some clarity with this analogy. So I don't know how many of you have ever watched The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I'm not a huge fan of The Bachelor. I was a little bit a huge fan of The Bachelorette. There was Jill, who was Canadian way back when, and then I really got into it with Rachel Lindsay, the first Black Bachelorette. And if you know, you know. There was a lot that happened. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with the Bachelor, Bachelorette franchise, basically what happens is that there is a person who is the Bachelor or Bachelorette, and they have a series of roses, and they are meeting all of these people every week, and at the end of every week, there is a rose ceremony. And in this rose ceremony, they're giving out roses to people who they want to continue dating, right? Who they want to continue on a relationship with, and ultimately who they genuinely feel like they could have a future. And at the end of every rose ceremony, there is the final rose. Now, this final rose is very important because some people don't get a rose, right? Some people, that is the end of their relationship and they have to go home. It's very sad. Some of them deserved it, but that is neither here nor there. And this rose, this final rose symbolizes a lot. It symbolizes the Bachelorette, for example, saying, I really like you, but also I see a future with you. And it's not just because I really like you, but it's because I think you genuinely like me. And I feel like this is something that happens in The Bachelorette more than The Bachelor, because in The Bachelorette, there are all of these people, and you're like, are they there for the right reasons? Are they there just to be on TV, to, get their next record label? Are they there for a bet? They're it's like, why are you here, right? And people are going on these dates, but you have to kind of decide and figure out as the Bachelorette who is really here for me and who is here for themselves, right? Who genuinely likes me. It doesn't matter if I like them. I mean, I need to like them, right? Otherwise, you're not even making it to the final rose. But do you genuinely like me back? Do you see a future with me? Do I feel like you are going to say yes? Because, what The Bachelorette is leading up to, and The Bachelor, is that proposal moment, right? Where you get on one knee and you propose and you want the person to say yes to you, right? You have let everybody else go. You cut ties and dash dreams, and we get usually to the final two people, and you want to make sure that if you are going to put in the effort to propose to this person, that they're going to say yes to you. And listen, in the real world, usually you've been dating for a while, so you kind of know, you should know if the answer is going to be yes. But in the Bachelorette world, it's really out here, right? And so you're kind of hoping, you're like, I hope that if I propose, they're going to say yes, right? They don't want to be left at the altar, which unfortunately happens, right? It happens. People propose and it's like, we've made it all this way. And then people are like, no, actually, I don't want to get married to you. And you're like, what were we doing? What why didn't you let me know that 4 dates ago, right? And so no one likes that feeling. And then even worse, sometimes people get engaged and then on The Bachelorette, they never get married. Like they break up because they find out they weren't good for each other. Happens a lot, actually. But no one wants to propose and be stood up. No one wants to propose and not get married. They want to give someone a yes, and they want that person to give them a yes back. Okay, like Sydney, okay, I get it. Why are you telling me this very long analogy? Because the law schools are like The Bachelorette, right? I want you to imagine that the law schools are trying to figure out who to give their final rose to. And so often as applicants, we only think about getting accepted. Does the law school like me? Right? Like we're very self-centered in the law school application process. Me, I want to get picked. But the law schools also are hoping like me, I want to get picked. The law schools are hoping that you will say yes to them. And that's what we call yield in admissions, right? Yield is that percentage of students that the law schools give an acceptance letter to who then say yes and deposit. And so as much as you're focused on you getting an acceptance letter, the law schools are focused on them getting a deposit and you saying yes, right? And when they are trying to figure out who to say yes to, who to give that acceptance letter to, they are sometimes also thinking about, but will they say yes? Because I want to give my yeses out to people who I think are going to say yes to me. And that is where this Why This School essay comes in. You want to convince them that you are going to say yes. And listen, we all know you might not, right? And they know you might not. You can only go to one law school. You're going to have to say no, right? But you want to do your best to convince these law schools, no, I genuinely like your school. I genuinely want to come. I will give you my yes. Now, you don't have to say that. You shouldn't say that, especially if you don't mean that. But you can still write a compelling essay that makes them feel that you are going to give them that yes, so they feel confident to give you that final rose. Hopefully you are all following that analogy. I will also say that the Bachelorette and the law schools have a lot in common here too, because normally in the real world, you're only giving a yes to one person, right? You're only giving a rose to one person, but in the Bachelorette world, it's like, I can see a future with all 20 of you. And you're like, that's weird. But in you're watching TV, you're like, no, that makes sense. She has genuine connections with 20 different people. It's fine, right? And the law schools are kind of that way, right? They're saying yes to hundreds of people, and they genuinely want hundreds of people to say yes to them. So, just completing the analogy there. But how do you get this final rose, right? Like if you're like, Sydney, I get it. I'm with you. Give me the rose. How do I convince them that I'm going to say yes? So let's talk about a couple of easy ways. And then we're also going to talk about some to-don'ts. And actually, I'm going to start with the to-don'ts, right? Do not start your Why This School essay talking about what they're ranked. Like, oh, I want to go to law school because you're in the top 14 and I would like to maximize my career opportunities. I know I've said this on other videos. Don't say that. That's basically like someone on The Bachelorette saying, hey, I would like a rose because you make $250,000 a year. You're not going to get a rose. No one is going to give you a rose for that answer. That is a very quick way to leave the episode. Right? And they're going to be like, oh, you're just a gold digger, right? Like no one likes that, right? Law schools don't like that. So don't say that, right? The other thing is don't just regurgitate what's on their website. They know what's on their website. Some of you are like, I'm just going to show them that I can read and I can do my research and I'm going to do my research and I'm going to put all of the things into the essay and I'm not going to put anything about myself. I am only going to tell them about themselves. And that is the worst thing to do, right? In every single essay that you write for law school admissions, there should be something personal about you in it, even as you're talking about the school. So one of my favorite examples from a student a couple years ago is that I had a student that was really interested in meditation. And this didn't factor into the rest of his essays. His personal statement was on something else. His diversity statement was on something else, but this was a big part of him. And so he wrote this beautiful Why This School essay for a school that actually had, I don't know if it was a clinic or a center or a student group. I can't remember right now. but they had a big meditation and mindfulness situation. And so he wrote his essay, like talking about how important mindfulness and meditation was to him, and how when he found this program, center, clinic, student group at the school, it made him feel like it was a place that he could excel, not just academically, but also he could grow spiritually, that it made him feel like it was a home for him, and it made him know that it was the right choice for him. Now, there are so many reasons why I really loved that essay that I'm probably not even doing justice. And the biggest reason is that I get to know a little bit more about him, which is great. And the other thing is that, it's genuine. It's something that he's not writing to every school, because not every school has this, and not every student can write this, right? And those are the two things you need. You need to make sure that you're writing something that you can't just swap out the names of the school and like use it for every school. Schools can tell, they hate that. And if you really can't write an essay that doesn't sound like that and it's optional, that might not be the optional essay for you. And on the other hand, you want to make sure that it's something that is unique to you. It's unique to the school and it's unique to you, right? That not any other student could just write this. And trust me, any other student can just talk about clinics and professors, right? You have to give me more than just the academics. You have to really make me feel like there's a personal, genuine connection, that you are going to say yes if they give you the rose, right? And so that's really important. So what are some really strong ways to do that? So I love, one of my favorite ways is when students like incorporate like family or a nostalgic reason. And I understand not everyone has that, especially if you're first gen. My family didn't have any ties anywhere. We didn't go visit schools and do all that. So I didn't have that to write. But I know that there are some of you who do, right? And whether it's a great aunt, an uncle, a brother, a sister, a godparent who went to the school, or you grew up going there, even if you didn't have anyone that went there, maybe you just walked around the park, or you always drove by with your family, you had some good memories there. Anything that kind of connects you to a deeper feeling or a nostalgic feeling for the school, it's feeling unique to the school and unique to you. So that's like a win, right? We love that. I would say that second thing is maybe if there's a geographic feeling, like, same thing, a nostalgic feeling on a geography or a place, or being close to family or close to home. Like sometimes it's about our support networks, and people are always like, oh, that's not a good reason. Like, why isn't it? Right? If I'm sitting here thinking, is she gonna say yes to me? And then you tell me why like half your family lives in this area and you want to move back home, or your partner is there, or you're raising kids there, right? Then I'm feeling a little convinced that you're probably going to say yes, because like, wow, this would be a really great option for you, right? So there are some like external and internal factors there that I feel make it unique to the school and unique to you. So that's a win, right? If we can get both of those things, that's a win. The other thing I would say is values, right? What are the values and the atmosphere of the school? And you can get that by talking to students, or if you've gone to visit and you've had a tour, or if you've talked to faculty, or if you've gone to admission sessions or events at the school, a conference, a symposium, anything that really has shown you who the school is and has given you a feeling of, I will be supported here. And when I say affinity groups, it's not just racial. I mean, if you're a military vet, have you talked to other veterans about what it's like there? If you're a mom, does the school have really great support for moms or parents or childcare options, and you've seen that or talked to students that have experienced that? Or, if maybe even not just at the law school, but the wider university, if there's a way for you to plug into your culture or your religion or the arts, right? Dancing or singing, like what is it about the school, the community, the wider community even, that is going to allow you to continue to stay tethered to the parts of you that make you you. And really, I really want to emphasize that, because community is so important. Like a school is more than just the walls and the buildings and the classrooms and even the professors. The school is the people that you're going to school with, because those people, your classmates, are going to become your alumni community for life. They are going to become some of your best friends. They are going to be important colleagues and networking. They are the people that are going to challenge you in the classroom, to challenge your perspectives, to make you think differently, to open your mind to different things, to shape how you view legal pedagogy, to shape how you view the law. And they are going to make you the legal scholar that you are. It's the people, right? Law school is such a collaborative learning environment. Everyone is not just in a silo, but you're learning from each other. And so as much as you're trying to learn from professors, you want to think about who you're learning from as peers. And that's why it's so important that you're thinking about the community that you're joining, and that this is really the community for you. What is it about this community that makes you know you are going to thrive? You are going to be a different and better legal scholar because you are in this particular community with these particular values in this particular place at this particular time. And how is that unique to you and unique to the school? That's what you want to be focused on when you are writing these Why This School essays. And if you do that and you stay authentic and genuine, truthful and honest, but also share parts of yourself, you will have a compelling narrative to share to the schools that will hopefully get you that final rose. If you want help, if you want support on this, we are more than happy to do that. And I'm really excited because we are actually extending the enrollment for our standard application package. So our application package, our standard one-on-one package with our admission deans and directors, we have 6 fantastic admissions advisors, all of whom have been current or former admission deans and directors of law school. They are so excited to help you on this journey. And our standard package, enrollment was supposed to end on the 15th, but we are extending it to September 20th, and we are giving 25% off. It's non-stackable, but 25% off to everyone through the 20th to make sure that you can still enroll, and we will get your applications in by November. It includes so much one-on-one support. It includes enough essay drafts for your personal and optional statements, scholarship essays, meetings, and all of our packages always come with free support every single semester of law school. That's mentorship support. We do check-ins on you. If you need things, we're available to you as a community, as a family, and a resource. And that's all the way until you graduate law school completely for free. We do offer payment plans on all of our packages through Klarna, PayPal, and Afterpay, which can bring it down to an affordable monthly amount. But we are so excited to work with you on this process. And like I said, it's 25% off now through September 20th. And we just can't wait to help you tell compelling stories that are going to help you get into the schools that are going to transform your life. Now, if you liked this video, I always say make sure that you're sharing it with a friend. Sharing is caring. Like and review. Make sure that you follow our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have questions, you can submit them to bit.ly/breakintolawschool. We love answering your questions. You can also email us at hello@barrier-breakers.org. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions there. And I want to know how you're doing in the process. I want to know how your law school process is, if we can be helpful. We are here for you, and we know that you're going to have a fantastic cycle this year. So make sure you drop your questions, and I will see you next time.